Okay, so there seemed to be some down low outing in my hometown, Atlantic City, New Jersey, and the surrounding areas such as Galloway, Pleasantville, or wherever else they may be. Um, there seemed to be a list that's being passed around about a guy who knowingly has HIV, and in the past, I'll say in the past 2 years, has been charged with penetration, I guess, unprotected sex with someone with knowing he has HIV. Now, I know most of this should be reported to the state public health board and also reported to the cdc.gov. I guess this list has been passed around for almost a week now. At first, I didn't believe it was true because when I did look up the man's name, it showed that he was arrested for fighting someone at a church. I tried to pull up to see if he had some type of charge pending against him in the New Jersey County inmate search locator. I couldn't pull him up, but then the more I started conversing with other people from my hometown who spoke of it and had the list, then somehow photos of one of the individuals, actually photos of three of the individuals that are on that list, are having sexual activity. So this is about being on the down low. Being on the down low, I think is very disturbing because there are females who believe they're having relations with straight men or in relationships with straight men or married to straight men. And actually, one of the individuals that is on this list is a married man. When I compare both of the profiles of the secret life and the public life of him living as a man, as a regular man, like an average man. When you look at him, he appears as just an average man who likes to do manly things such as ride dirt bikes, you know, have fun with the family, do family things, do guy things. And then when you see this other side where they live in this double life, it's like you hear about people in Atlanta being on a down low. Like when you hear it and hearsay, it's, you hear it, but you don't think really nothing of it until it touches home. And either it can be someone in your family, or it can just be someone from your hometown, or you know people that know people that know them, and this is really close from home. So my first encounter to see something with evidence of being on a down low is really shocking to me. I don't really have any hate towards homosexuality or LBG was the LBGT community. I do have relatives who are gay and lesbians. Actually, two are in marriages. At the same time, I don't approve of people who are on the down low. I feel like you are hurting people. You're not giving everyone the opportunity to choose to interact or have a relationship with you when you're secretly being on the down low. Especially in 2019, where a lot is being accepted of being gay. Not saying in the black community. I believe there is some struggle with gays in the black community. At the same time, I see that people are being more open-minded with the LGBT community. The only thing I think most of us disapprove of is the ones who are undercover. Especially when you know you have HIV and you're having unprotected sex with men who appear to the public eye as a straight man. And you know that this man is married, or you know that this man is messing around with other women. And you may have an idea that these women would not accept a man, not all women, some wouldn't accept a man who has relations with both women and men. Now, I'm learning this a lot of people born in the 80s are being bisexual, and that's fine if that's what you're into. But be open with the people you are having relations with. Be open with your spouse or your significant other. If you're going to do this on a down low, at least use protection so you won't spread or contract a disease to yourself and to other people. The fear that I'm looking at now is the fact that this list of a total of 14, 13 is named. One, I guess, must have committed suicide. But on that list, there are men who are known to be gay that have possibly or may have HIV because they had consensual sex with the one who is or has been charged with penetration knowingly that he had HIV. And this charge took place in October 2016. For some reason, it's resurfaced again from him being arrested for fighting someone at a church back in April 2019. And somehow this resurfaced again to a list has been spread with at least 13 names. And some of those men appear to be straight, but live in a secret life. I believe that is very disturbing and scary at the same time, because I'm wondering how many other men they could have possibly had relations with, unprotected sex with, and how many of these men had sex with females in that same area, where is a possibility that those females may had a sexual relation with these men and could have been having casual sex with other people in that surrounding area. It seems like sex is a big thing these days, where it's overrated and that's all people are doing these days. But if you having casual sex with multiple partners or different partners and not using protection, I'm afraid, what if I come in contact with someone who had some type of connection with one of them, whether it's the down low or a previous relationship with an ex who could have messed with some other man that I may come in contact with in my future. I'm afraid of that. So any man who's living on a down low, I strongly recommend that you get some help. And also, I would like for people who think having sex with a man that isn't homosexual activity or you don't think is gay, I want you to also get help. Because there are some men who think it isn't gay to have like an encounter with a man. If you have any sexual relation activity with the same sex, whether it's once, twice, 3 times in your entire life, if you did have any encounter, especially in this new era of dating and casual sex and friends with benefits, or hanging out, whatever you want to call it, playing around in bed, I don't care what you call it. If you having sex with the same sex and no one else knows that that's your preference or you enjoy having sexual relations with both, I would recommend that you share it with anyone you're having a sexual relationship with, whether it's a male or female. If you feel like you can't trust them, then don't have relations with them. If you're not using protection, you should be using protection. This is the most scariest thing I'm learning, and to see it and see the evidence and see the photos, and then looking at two different profiles of one particular person on the list where they live in a life as a family with their spouse and children, and then you see this other profile of them having sexual relations with a man, and it's looking at that double life and comparing the different profiles together side by side. That's a scary situation, to see and witness that. I put myself in that situation, like that could be me. That could be me married to a guy like him. That could be me in a relationship or having casual sex with a guy like him. So again, if you're on down low, or if you enjoy having sex with both females and women, I strongly recommend that you share that with everyone that you have a sexual relationship with. It's not fair to keep it secretive. If you don't feel comfortable being open to who you really are in your true self, then maybe you should take a break from having any sexual activity. If you don't care about your life to the point where you don't care if you contract a sexual transmitted disease, and then you don't care about who you can pass that on to, then maybe you should be arrested and locked away until you know how to be more responsible. I think if anyone who has made a crime of having sexual relations with someone knowing they have HIV should stay in jail for the rest of their entire life. Maybe in a lockup or something, in solitary, because of course things can happen in prison, because they can they can contract it in prison too if they do have sexual relations with each other in prison as well. At the end of the day, people who are on the down low, you need to come out, get help, get a counselor. If your family will not care about you anymore, find a new family. Find people who understand you. They're out there. If you don't think you're gay by having an encounter with a male, and you have sexual relations with them, if you don't think that's gay, but you're having sex with men, you should also let it be known. Tell anyone about it that you may feel comfortable with. Your family, a cousin, co-worker, a close friend, or even a counselor. But you need to not be secretive about this double life you're living. Or if you think it's not gay to have sex with men because you only had sex with them once or twice or 3 times or whatever, you should also let all your partners know that you're having sexual relations with. They should know. You should use protection if you're having casual sex and you're not being monogamous and having relations with one partner. You should let the women know and let them choose whether or not they will still have relations with you if you choose, or your preference is to have sex with both sexes, males and females. There are some women out there who will still have relations with you if you like both males and females, just like there's females out there who have relations with men and women. But let it be known to anyone you are in an intimate moment with and have a sexual relationship with, or any of your partners. Let it be known to all of them. And fuck what anyone else think of you. Fuck what your family think of you. Just fucking share it with the person you are about to have relations with. Because I don't think no one wants to contract or get HIV or AIDS. I think people don't want to commit suicide and just be careless and just have random sex with people knowing that they have AIDS. I think people would prefer to know if you have a sexual preference to have both males and females. That should be something you should reveal about yourself. Because at the end of the day, if someone outs you and you betray people, some people may not take that lightly and may take matters in their own hands and cause harm to someone. So instead of causing damage to others and to yourself, please let people know that you like men and women, or you don't want to like women anymore and you prefer to be with men only. Get some counseling. Help build some self-esteem so you're okay and comfortable with sharing to anyone that you like men and women or you just like men.